Hey everybody, author Barbara Hinsky here, doing the Instagram and Facebook Live thing again today. I want to talk to you about my experience today in preparation for Guiding Emily coming out on Friday. My experience at Guide Dogs for the Blind in California during my research. They were kind enough to host me there for 3 days. I'll talk about puppy graduation tomorrow, which is just was a fabulous experience. Our first day there, my husband and I were able to attend a day-long seminar, I guess I'd call it, that they offer free of charge to people who are considering getting a guide dog. As you can imagine, it's a big responsibility to have a guide. You have, the medical care and legal and financial responsibility. The Guide Dogs for the Blind continues the medical care for the life of the dog, but the handler has to be able to exercise the dog and feed the dog, and I think do some routine maintenance stuff, toenail trims and teeth brushing and all that sort of stuff. So it's a big responsibility. Handlers are also expected to be, as I said yesterday, very white cane proficient, because the guide dog lifestyle is a very active lifestyle. These dogs are trained to get up and go, and they want to get up and go. They'll lose their skills if they just lay around the house all the time. So you have to be an active person of any age, doesn't matter your age, and they will match you with a dog that matches your walking cadence and your personality and all the rest of that. The magic of the match is something I'll talk a little bit about tomorrow, but it's for real. So the day starts with the participants, talking a little bit about why they're there and what they're hoping to learn and accomplish. As we went around the room, there was only one person, as I remember, who was wildly enthusiastic about getting a guide dog. Other people were more reticent about taking on the responsibility. And one man I want to talk about, just because it touched my heart as an example of the goodness of people. He was a fellow in his 50s who was basically there because he was drugged there by a young woman who worked out with him at the gym. She was married to a serviceman who was stationed overseas. She had 2 preschool kids, and she was caring enough of her friend to insist that he come to this seminar. What that entailed for her was they lived 3.5 hours away. So she had a 3.5 hour drive there and 3.5 hours home, and it was a 6 to 7 hour day. A long day for this young woman, 2 little kids at home, and she said that her mother-in-law took a week of vacation and came out to spend with her 2 children, so that she, I'm sure it was a regular visit, but nonetheless, she took a day of that and brought her friend to this seminar, and I'll talk a little bit about that, but that absolutely touched my heart. So after everyone shares and they talk about what's legally entitled, what your responsibilities are, and a little bit about the guide dog lifestyle, then they let people go and work with a harness. So the the potential handler would hold the harness, and then a sighted person would take the other end and pretend they were the dog and walk them around. And when everyone was comfortable with that, then they slipped in a guide dog and let them walk with the guide dogs. That was so much fun to sit. There was there's a central courtyard, large, that they were using, and I just sat there and observed, and I could see from the body language, people lose their fear and reluctance and really relax and enjoy. And what started out as, some moderate pacing walking, because dogs walk fast, and these are large dogs. They're Labs, Goldens, and Lab Golden Crosses, so they got a pretty big footprint, and they would move along. But by the end, these people were just sailing along and enjoying it. We came back to the classroom then to end the day. We had lunch together and had a chance to talk to each other. It was quite a nice day. They did a wonderful job. And every single person in that room said that they were going to apply to get a guide dog. Some of them said that they knew they needed better white cane training, so they were going to approach that and get that gap filled first. And they all knew that they had to keep going with these dogs. They had to make the commitment. One person said, well, I guess I'm going to lose some weight and get out more. Just an interesting aside from with all this stay-at-home orders that we've all been subject to. I've got a number of friends now that I've met from my research for this book who have guide dogs. And in talking to them recently, everybody is saying, oh, my dog is so bored at home. My dog is tired of just walking around the neighborhood. My dog likes to ride the bus. Julie was saying to me on Saturday that Gnocchi, they went to the grocery store last week, and Gnocchi was just so pleased out of his mind. He was wagging his tail 90 miles an hour the whole time because Gnocchi was bored at home. So it's just like us. I know I kind of relate to Gnocchi. I get a little bored, but I'm being good and staying home. So that was a wonderful and a meaningful, I think, introduction to this process because it is a big commitment. Guide Dogs does provide all of the medical care. I don't know about all of the other guide dog organizations, but Guide Dogs for the Blind does. I think they all provide medical care. The dogs are never to be turned over to a shelter. They'll never be in a shelter. They always go back to the organization if the handler dies and their family can't take them or whatever happens. Guide dogs will stay in service until they're maybe 8 or 9. They have yearly checkups with the organization that furnishes the dog to see how they're doing. And at the end, when they're not able to function in that capacity anymore, the handler has the opportunity to keep them as a family pet. Everybody can't do that. Some people live in small apartments in big cities, and there's not room for 2 big dogs. If that happens, then the puppy raiser gets the first shot at bringing the dog back into their home, and if that doesn't work, there's a hierarchy of people that can take the dog. But rest assured, these dogs live out their days in comfort and honor and love. I'm getting emotional just saying that. They're just wonderful. So that's how it works to even figure out if you want a guide dog. I am a dog person. I've always had a dog. I don't think I could live without a dog, so I know that's something I would surely want to do. At any rate, that's today's little session, and tomorrow I'm going to talk about the graduation ceremony, and I'm really going to have to steel myself because I cried when I was there. I cried when I wrote about it in my book. I wrote a blog post about it and cried, so we'll see if I can get through it without crying, or you can get through it without crying, but they're happy tears. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday, and more tomorrow. See ya.